Welcome, darlings, to another descent into the devouring abyss we call Echoes of the Dark. I am Violet Nocturne, walking the tightrope between your nightmares and reality. Tonight's story will tune itself into your psyches, exploiting a sound you've heard countless times. The static. The noise you dismiss as nothing, as void. But what if it wasn't void at all? What if it breathed with whispers, just beyond the threshold of human understanding? Come closer, because the truth isn't a sound. It's an echo in the static that refuses to be ignored. Shall we begin? Meet Lena, an aspiring sound engineer with an ear trained for perfection and a mind scattered with anxiety. She had just moved to the city, chasing a dream, and as dreams often do, they tend to dissolve easily, especially if the dreamer is plagued by voices. Lena had been tuning into what should have been silence. Her state-of-the-art equipment picked up persistent, lingering static, even in anechoic chambers designed to block sound. Then, late one Wednesday, perhaps it was Wednesday, or it could have been a day plucked and distorted by a malicious hand, Lena decided to investigate. Alone. You've heard this story before in some form, haven't you? The eager mind, seduced by curiosity, ignoring every primal warning screaming from their gut. She ran her fingers down knobs and twisted dials ever so gently, and then she heard it, a low murmur bleeding through the static. But it wasn't a human voice. No. It sounded layered, ancient, as though it had been waiting for someone. No, anyone, to come close enough to listen. Rich with despair and longing, the voice whispered incoherent syllables. Lena, mesmerized, thought, "It's just interference. Radio waves. Harmless." Oh, darling, her hubris could fill an opera house. Late into that night, she recorded the phenomenon, playing the static over and over. Each loop harmonized with the next, until something unnerving materialized. Her name. "Lena," it whispered, as though memories of her existence had somehow escaped digital obscurity, escaping into vibrations beyond her control. The days rolled into nights, and she became obsessed. She stopped sleeping. Her diet consisted of stale crackers and cold coffee, and her headphones practically became fused to her skull. Every recorded bit of white noise had grown into densely woven patterns of whispered pleas and threats. By Friday, let's call it Friday, Lena locked her door and drowned herself in her work. After hours upon hours, she decoded singular phrases. "They're trapped. I'm trapped. Listen carefully." But here's where it turns, darlings, where curiosity mutates into dread. She realized it wasn't one voice, but many. Layered voices yearning for her to set them free. Then came the knock at her apartment door. She froze. Her headphones crackled with static so loud it felt as though her eardrums were puncturing. Again, the knock. Louder. Lena checked the peephole, but no one was there. And yet, as she glanced back toward her recording console, the static had stopped. Silence draped over the room like a suffocating velvet curtain. The knock reverberated again, followed by a voice, clearer than it had ever been, saying, "Let us in." Did she obey? Of course she did. Curiosity consumes. You know this, don't you? Pulling the door open revealed nothing but air, but her paranoia heightened. Voices echoed in her head now. No headphones, no sound system, just translucent whispers that floated somewhere between dimensions. She saw shapes flicker at the corners of her vision, retreating before she could focus. The air conditioning kicked on, though she hadn't turned it on in weeks. "Lena," they whispered, vibrating her very bones. Desperate and hearing voices louder than before, she acted on instinct, reaching to smash every last knob on her sound equipment with trembling hands. But a peculiar thing happened. Before she could destroy her precious console, she glimpsed herself in the black screen reflection. Something stood behind her. Unmistakably human in shape, but grotesquely altered, the figure had a blurred, incomplete face. Then it pressed its hollow hand against her shoulder. Whatever inhibition she had crumbled, She screamed, but there was no sound. Only static filled the room, vibrating her thoughts to shreds. And then, stillness. She woke in her chair, hours later, surrounded by shattered equipment. But the whispers? They were gone, or buried somewhere in someone else's static. Ah, dearest watcher, was it merely auditory hallucinations caused by her own strain? Or do the whispers patiently await those bold enough to listen? Oh, the folly of humanity's boundless curiosity. And so, we conclude this tale as dusk kisses the horizon. Remember, darlings, the static humming from your old radio, or the background white noise in your headphones. It may not be as innocuous as it seems. I am Violet Nocturne, leaving one parting gift. Listen to the silence. If it whispers back, burn the bridge to curiosity before it burns you. Until next we meet, sleep lightly, and if you hear your name, may your courage be steadfast.